How often have you had the call from a manager who's panicking because one of their team has just resigned? You know, it's like, there must be something we can do, they plead, which is of course code for, can we pay them more money to stay? On the occasions where I've kind of caved in and agreed that we could, it rarely altered the person's decision, or they'd take the extra money but leave anyway after a decent period of time. You know, it was always going to be a case of too little, too late. The decision to resign and take that new job didn't just happen overnight. The disillusionment with their current role, the perceived lack of progression, or the growing sense that they weren't valued, these feelings had been building for months. And the manager and I were both culpable for the loss of these great members of the team. Me, because I should have been facilitating and coaching my leaders to think about talent management more frequently than once a year, giving them career conversation tools that were easy to use, and I should have been being more creative around growth opportunities. And the manager was at fault because they hadn't given enough thought about how to retain their talent. So that's what this is all about. How can we help leaders and managers retain their good people? Well, first up, we can show them why it matters. You know, it might encourage leaders to invest time in the ones they have if they knew how much they stand to lose if they go. Gallup and LinkedIn have produced some useful data that should at least prompt managers to think about the issue. For example, the cost of replacing an individual employee can range from 1/2 to 2 times the employee's annual salary. And new employees typically take around 6-9 months to reach their full productivity. So losing good people costs. A whacking 94% of employees said that they would stay at a company longer if it invested in their careers. And in the top reasons for leaving, more pay doesn't even make it into the top 3. It comes in about 6th, behind health issues, lack of work-life balance, not having the right resources, a poor relationship with their manager, and of course at the very top, lack of career progression. But as we know, data isn't going to be enough to encourage leaders to change the way they engage with their people. If they haven't built that career development coaching muscle, then it's going to take a bit of time. But we also need to offer some different approaches to get them to start. You know, the 1990s processes of end-of-year career conversations as part of the appraisal and the annual talent review following the completion of the 9-box grid, they're just not agile enough. They take too long to complete and tend to only focus on the elite high potentials in our team. You can transform your leader's ability to retain top talent by firstly getting rid of these bulky processes and secondly, introducing a new approach, talent talks. Talent talks are a much more effective way of ensuring that talent management goes higher up the management agenda. Instead of a cumbersome 1 or 2 day process supported with lots of pre-prepared paperwork and rankings, talent talks are focused and short, just an hour a month. If you can add it into existing meetings, so much the better. They are also just conversations, without the assessments of performance and potential, the results of which we know are suspect due to rate of bias. They're also enjoyed by leaders. Yes, you heard me. Leaders do actually enjoy talking about their people. They just don't want to fill out 9-box grids and competency assessments and spend 48 hours talking about them. HR's role is not to chase leaders to complete their assessments and then compile the paperwork, but to facilitate great talent conversations. You can check out our facilitator guide on the club, where you'll find a number of conversation starters and questions to help you run them, such as, let's each talk about 2 people in each of our teams that we feel are ready for a new challenge and why. Number 2, if we can't move them right now, what could we do to help them get a new challenge, a project, a mentor, etc.? Number 3, who thinks they have a flight risk in their team? Let's talk about what we could do. Or number 4, are we taking enough risks? Are we giving people a chance to try out a new role, even if they're not quite ready? Many organisations such as Western Union, Spotify, Dropbox are now using talent talks, and they report numerous benefits, such as the ability to make timely decisions on promotions because the insights are fresh. Leaders feeling much more confident about having career conversations with their team because they're more aware of the projects and vacancies that are around. More internal mobility of talent as a result. And finally, and gradually, holding regular talent talks builds leaders' understanding and capabilities around talent management. So instead of having to increase pay as a knee-jerk response to a threat of resignation, why not try regular talent talks with your leaders? Hi, I hope you found this useful. If you'd like more videos like this, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications.